Yes, over a month ago, I did some videos. I informed you about friction between Tadesse and TPLF. And I informed you friction between Alim Gebrevahid and Monjorino. I think I was the first one uh, who covered this news. And back then, several viewers rejected it, calling it propaganda. But now gradually things are coming out and everyone is confirming my reports. I reported that over a month ago. What is happening now are internal differences in TPLF becoming worse. Situation seems to be becoming serious now, it seems. Secondly, where Somaliland is offering military base, its minerals to the US in return for recognition, while it has lost one of its zones to Somalia. Let's start with this story about Somaliland. Somaliland is internationally recognized part of Somalia, but it has been existing as a separate entity. It wants to be recognized as a country, but no recognition like Taiwan. Somaliland has been making offers to the US. Abdurrahman, the incumbent, the president, in an interview, reiterated Somaliland's offer to the US. Somaliland is offering Berbera port to the US, that US can use Berbera port. It can establish a naval base, a military base in Somaliland. And US can use lithium minerals which are found in Somaliland. Trump, we know, is very keen to sign agreements about mineral extraction. He wants raw material for US industries. That is why Somaliland is offering lithium to the US. By the way, these African leaders complain of Western intervention in their countries. Now, Somaliland is dying for US military base on its soil. It shows that basically interests matter. Somaliland wants recognition, no matter what the cost is. But I think Somaliland had only one real opportunity of recognition, which has been lost, and that was through Ethiopia. When Ethiopia signed MOU with Somaliland to gain sea access, both countries were in need of it, in need of the points mentioned in the MOU. Ethiopia wanted sea access, Somaliland wanted recognition. I think maybe it was difficult for Ethiopia, but that was possible. Otherwise, it's difficult for Somaliland to get recognition from any other country. US official policy is one Somalia policy. So Somalia can make similar offers to the US, which Somalia has done, by the way. It is offering its minerals, its ports to the US. So why would US choose Somaliland? Secondly, Somaliland has lost a region which split with Somaliland a few years ago. SSC Khatomo controlled areas now have announced the formation of northeastern state in Somalia. SSC Khatomo elders have held a meeting, a conference in Lassanu, and they're renaming their territory as northeastern state in Somalia. They're joining Somalia. SSC Khatomo controlled area was part of Somaliland, but SSC Khatomo forces a few years ago launched an armed movement against Somaliland government. Somaliland forces and SSC Khatomo forces fought. Somaliland forces suffered losses, they withdrew, and now the area is joining Somalia. This zone is becoming part of Somalia. Somaliland is becoming weak internally. perhaps not, it isn't in a position to dictate terms. It wants support, foreign support, without taking any risks. Uh, its MOU with Ethiopia was risky, but it decided against taking the risk, and now it is pleading for recognition, no one agreeing to it. Now it splits in the TPLF, Tigray People Liberation Front, splits now becoming very clear. Uh, uh, Again, let me remind you what I reported over a month ago. I told you that there was friction between Varade and TPLF. TPLF people were complaining that 2 months had passed and still Varade had not done anything to ensure the restoration of TPLF status. That Varade was not really pleading TPLF's case for the restoration of its status. And secondly, TPLF people were not happy with the Southern Tigray government. They wanted Varade to strike in Southern Tigray to remove Haftu Cross government. So these were the two main issues which were being raised by TPLF senior leaders to criticize Varade. And the two issues still remain unsolved: TPLF status unrestored, and Varade led military-led operation to remove Haftu Cross government. Southern Tigray has failed. Rather, Haftu Cross got backing from the people, and people backed Haftu Cross is back in power. Regional government in power, back in power. But it's going to be difficult to remove Haftu Cross. TPLF in trouble. TPLF not happy with Varade. They think Varade is playing double game. He isn't dealing with TPLF in a transparent and fair manner. Rather, he is in touch with the other party too. Secondly, the appointment of LM Gabriel Wahed has led to increase in suspicions by TPLF against Tadesse Varade. LM, we know, was at the forefront of removing Getachew. By the way, those TPLF leaders who were at the forefront of removing Getachew are now fighting each other politically. And Varade is trying to exploit the situation. He appointed Alam Gabriel Wahed as the president, deputy president in Tigray, but it wasn't that the TPLF recommended Alam Gabriel Wahed's name for this appointment. No. Without any recommendation from TPLF, Varade appointed Alam Gabriel Wahed as deputy president. So Alam is not being seen in TPLF meetings now. Is not being given any role, any place in decision making by TPLF top men now, because he's being seen as Varade's man. And Varade is being mistrusted by the TPLF. TPLF Central Committee, though it has approved LM Gabriel Wahed's appointment, but the top leaders of TPLF, they opposed LM Gabriel Wahed's appointment. Though majority of Central Committee members, they supported LM Gabriel Wahed's appointment by Varade, but senior leaders who call the shots, they opposed LM's appointment by Varade. Which leaders opposed? The Bratzian opposed, Abraham Takaste opposed, member of both Central and executive committees. Monjorino opposed, again very influential member of both Central executive committees. Reportedly, Getachew SF also opposed. Getachew SF, Monjorino, LM, the Bratzian, Abraham Tagaste, they were at the forefront of removing Getachew. They were united back then, and they were calling Getachew a puppet of PP and a traitor of Tigray. Getachew removed. Now these people are fighting each other. On one side, there is LM, supported by Varade. On the other side, there is other senior TP leadership. But LM is not alone, because majority of Central Committee TPLF members supported LM Gabriel Wahed's appointment. But since Monjorino and Bratzian have rejected, they voted against LM's appointment. So I am seeing more tensions between LM group and Mongerino group. I think it will intensify in coming days. Let's see what happens.